Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1836. Oh, getting up there in numbers. Saturday thoughts. I was sort of like, looked at the clock and went, oh, I'm supposed to get online. The day got away on me. But I have, and I thought, what could I call today's one? So we're just doing Saturday thoughts. It's just going to be ramblings. So if you don't want to listen to anybody rambling, go elsewhere. It's okay. But my question, here is a question for you. Everybody know, if you follow me, you know how much I love these things. I love Post-it notes, right? And they come in all shapes and sizes. You got the little ones, you got these really cool ones with lines on them, and there's a whole bunch of other ones, but this just happens to be what's on my desk right now. And some even come in a little holder thingy. So, there's all sorts of Post-its around. I also happen to love index cards. And I have packets of index cards. Not as many Post-it notes, not as many as I have Post-it notes, but I have a lot of packets of index cards. Different sizes. I've got the 3x5s, I've got the 4x6s, and there's another size. No, 4x6, I think it is. Might be the biggest one. I can't remember. But anyway, I have index cards as well. I even have like a file box that is specifically designed for the 4x6 postcard, index cards and all that. And it's got little ABC thingies in there as well, which is really cool. And you can turn them around and they've got numbers on them, so you can use them for days of the month. And I'm like, I cannot find a single index card. It's like I needed an index card yesterday. I still cannot find a single index card. I'm like, what the heck? I can find Post-it notes up the wazoo. That's not a problem. It's like every drawer. I even have like a stationary, one of those plastic rolling cart things with the drawers in it that has like extra stationery and stuff in it. And I thought, oh, maybe they'll be in there. Yes, no. Like it's got a big drawer at the bottom. It's all Post-it notes, all different sizes, different colors, different shapes, different sizes. And I'm like, huh. So I looked in the other one. Nope. Not a single index card can I find. I have been going through boxes that say office supplies. It's a good place to start, right? And my friend Kathy yesterday said to me, she said, well, how many boxes of office supplies do you have? I said, oh, something like around 20 plus. She's like, hold on. She says, I have a lot of office supplies and they all fitted in 2 boxes. I says, yeah, but what you don't understand is that when we packed the boxes, we had 2 offices that we were packing up and we just put office supplies on them because we got to the stage where we're just throwing stuff in there. We couldn't be bothered itemizing things. There was some stationery supplies and there was office supplies was written on top. So I said, I've got like 20 boxes. I said, I even have a box of books that says office supplies on it because the books happen to be in the office. And so I still cannot find a single index card. I needed an index card yesterday. I still need an index card. I can't find one. I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, I cannot even find one that's got stuff written on it. And I'm like, I'm going through books because I know that sometimes that I tuck them into book. Nope. Cannot find me an index card anywhere. And I've been ripping my office apart. I have 3 filing cabinets in my office, 1 vertical 4 drawer, 2 lateral 2 drawer ones. Not an index card can be found. I've been going through the boxes out there, nothing. And I've got milk crate boxes as well. I've been going through nothing. I can't even find the box that I have that has all the index cards that's designed for I can't even find that box. I'm like, this is like nuts. I still have a few more boxes to go through, but I'm like, I can't find an index card anywhere. And I suddenly thought, well, maybe I have some in the RV because I know I still have Post-it notes in the RV because there's 2 drawers that are underneath the dining benches in the dining booths and stuff. In the dining booth in the RV, there's 2 drawers underneath those, and I know that there's a basket of Post-it notes, and I thought, well, maybe I've got index notes there. But I've even been through all the boxes from the RV that I haven't unpacked, where I just pack the stuff up. No index cards in there. And I had a lot of index cards in the RV. No, So I thought it's maybe still in the RV, but I really don't want to go over there because it's like 106 outside, which means I know it's going to be like 120 plus inside the RV. Yeah, there's no way, even though it's under shelter and all of that. And so it's not in direct sunlight. It's actually under one of those shelters that's got the solar panels on top of the shelter, but still the air outside is 106 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 40 degrees Celsius. That's the air outside. So you can imagine inside the RV, it's going to be a little warmer. And yeah, I really don't want to go inside the RV right now. It's just too dang hot. Unless I can go over like first thing in the morning and when it's like 80 degrees outside or 30 something degrees Celsius, it will still be probably 40 degrees Celsius inside. It'll still be triple digits inside the RV. So I cannot find an index card, and I don't want to go because I know the second that like if I go and order some from like Amazon or something, or if I go to Office Depot or something and get some, the moment I get those index cards and I come home, I'm going to find a whole slew of them. I'm like, I want to find that whole slew of index cards before I have to go. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to find other ways to get around this and find other things. I can find card stock. So maybe if I use the card stock, like index cards, cut them down to size and things. Because I did find my little mini guillotine that I use for photographs for when I'm scrapbooking. So I've got my photo guillotine. So I could put some card stock into there and make the index cards that way. So that just popped into my head because I remember finding the guillotine in an office supply box. I found my little photo guillotine that I use for scrapbooking. So I thought, maybe we could just make some index cards because it's driving me crazy. But it's been a good. Apart from that, it's been a really good day today. We had our mastermind. We had our Platinum Inner Circle mastermind meeting this morning, which is awesome. It was awesome. We got to celebrate some wins. We got to help put one person on the hot seat and come up with some ideas for his business, for getting more business, for what to do with the business he already has. And I love it when we get to mastermind. It's awesome. There's great ideas come out. And I know that there's ideas that came out of that for me because I have Post-its. I have a row of Post-it notes sitting right here because I have a Post-it note method that I use for getting projects done. And there's a few Post-it notes hanging off the second. I actually have a second monitor right here, but I can't find the power cord for it. I know. It's in a box. I swear it's in a box. I did find the remote for it. Actually, no, that one doesn't have a remote. Yeah, I haven't found the power cord for it. Once I find the power cord for it, I've got the HDMI cable to connect the two together so I can have a second monitor, which will be so helpful when I'm doing genealogy. Trust me, it's going to be super, super helpful for genealogy because I have this really cool program that's called Goldie May. Goldie May will track everything that I do when I'm researching genealogy. Like when I go in, I open up the project if it's a current project, or I open up a new project, and I put the little tracker thing on. So every website I go to, all the research that I do, it logs it all for me, which is great when I've then got to turn around to a client and say, well, here's my research log, because we have to log everything. Did we find anything? Did we not find anything? Records did we find? And I can have it all logged there. There's the websites I went to. This is where I found the information and things like that too. So, but trying to fit that, having that on the side of the screen while you're using the rest of it, I can put that over there and I can use this and some of that. So, yes, I still haven't found the power cord for that one. I found power cords, but none of them fit this one. So, until then, it's getting Post-it notes hung on right now. So, so there's a whole slew of Post-it notes there from today's mastermind group on ideas for my businesses and what I can do with those based on what came up in the meeting in the mastermind today when we were masterminding somebody's business. So, yeah, but that's going to be fun. And I've already started working on those Post-it notes too. So, but it's just been one of those days where it's just sort of like I am frustrating myself because I cannot find index cards, and I needed index cards. I came up with a workaround yesterday that I did. I just got a piece of paper and folded it up to the size of a card and taped it together so it would serve its purpose, and that's basically what it's doing right now, but I would really have preferred it to be on an index card, because now I had to use a whole piece of paper. Yeah. I'm still looking around going, is there a box in here I haven't touched? But even, it's just frustrating for me because I know where I have my office supply. I know boxes that have office supplies in them. I have found boxes of pens. I found my staples for my stapler. I can find everything except index cards. So tomorrow, my task tomorrow is to at least open every box that I have left. And do a quick sort through to see if I can find packets of index cards, because I know I have them. But I did find some good genealogy stuff today too. I've opened one box and I'm like, oh, what's in this one? Opening up and I'm like, because in there were, I don't have one handy. I had composition box. I'm like, oh, what's this one? Open it up and go, oh, that's all Brad's father's side of the family. Oh, what's this one? That's all Brad's mother's side of the family. Oh, what's this one? This is all my dad's side of the family. What's this one? This is all my mum's side of the family. So I found those books along with all of the, and I don't have any family group sheets, the pedigree charts. I found all of those tucked into there as well. This is this whole box full of composition books with family group sheets and pedigree charts and all of that going all the way back on both my sides of the family, both the Brad sides of the family. Even found one composition book where I had transcribed. Yes, I painstakingly we were staying with my mother-in-law for a week in LA one time. We were out there on vacation, and she had these concertina files that were chocker full of certificates, deeds, wills, a whole bunch of genealogy documents. And I painstakingly sat there whenever I got a chance. I sat down at the table and I had my composition book and I painstakingly transcribed, started at A, worked my way through, I think about half of a concertina file, and took out each certificate at a time and wrote out all the information, transcribed all the information on there, and then put it back in, and then took the next one out and transcribed. I have the whole composition and filled up a whole composition book. I found that composition book. I also too now have in my possession all of those documents. And I'm going to be sending them off to get all scanned and everything else. And what are you so... There are people walking out there. I just suddenly saw her perk up. So yeah, at some point I'm going to get all that scanned and actually I have a scanner right there. Just look at my printer. It scans. It's a printer, a scanner, a copier, and a fax machine. We don't have the fax machine hooked up. Some of you are going to go, oh, what machine? A fax machine? What's a fax machine? Don't worry about it. We don't use them anymore. In fact, I still, if someone hands me a business card, it's got a fax number on there. I'm like, what century are you in? Some companies out there still have fax machines. Either that or they're using really old business cards and none of the information has changed on there except for the fact they do not use a fax machine. But it was a way we used to scan and send documents on fax machine. Yes. I don't even know how that one came up. But anyway, like I said, this is just completely off the cuff. It was just, yeah. And I got a snooze in this afternoon. Did you get a snooze in this afternoon, Zeffy girl? Yeah? Did you get a snooze in? She got a snooze in. Yeah. We just had a nice quiet time this afternoon because the brain was sort of going, shh. Did some reading. Read some more of my books. So we're getting there. But yeah, I need my index cards. Because I'm doing getting back into doing my writing again, and that's what I need my index cards for. I need to be able to write down thoughts. And it's like one idea per index card, like, you know, a scene or a description or an idea for a plot line, a chapter in a book. You know, I've got the ideas in my head and I just need to write them all out, draw some pictures and file them or have them all filed and everything else. So So I can't even find, that's the other one I can't find, is I can't find my box that has the index cards in there that already has all my story ideas and stuff in there. So I haven't found that box yet either. I need my index cards. Am I hung up on my index cards? Absolutely. I've got post-it notes up the way, because see the index cards, that's my storage area. Then when it's time to come and write, I go and I pull out those index cards, I stick them onto post-it notes on my wall, and then I can move them with my storyboard. I need my index cards. And on that note, I'm going to go see if I'm going to go search some more boxes before Zeffy decides that it's time to go for a WALK. Zeffy, do you want to go for a WALK? Is it walk time? Not quite yet. The sun's still shining. We need it to go down a little further. But in about 40 minutes, we have to go for a walk, and it won't be in our eyes. So, but anyway, oh, that was another question for you too. It's in the Love to Read Book Club Facebook group, which you can join by scanning this code right here. Scan this code right here. Come join us in the Facebook group. Question for today for Shelfie Saturday is, how do you organize your books? Are you somebody that alphabetizes all of your books, no matter whether they're fiction or nonfiction, by author? Are you somebody who shelves all your books by color? I have seen that done. Are you somebody who puts all the nonfiction over here or the fiction over here? Fiction is organized by author. Nonfiction is all organized by topic. It's not. Do you organize them by genre? How else have I seen them done? Or do you just put them on? Oh, there's a gap. That book. Yep, got a new book to go in the bookcase. Where's the gap? There's a gap. Put it there. No organization whatsoever. They're just up there. Maybe you do it by size. All the ones this side are here. This size is over here, which makes it interesting. Or do you put all your series together? You know, one author, all the book. There's another one. Now, some authors, I have come across this with some authors, they have written several different series, and there is a publishing date on them, but people may not file them by the publishing date. They actually, some of the authors, if they have multiple series, will actually have a reading list for the chronological order of the books in the series. So you can actually start here and work your way through about 4 or 5 different series of books in chronological order. And like there's one where I'm just going through, I'm just reading this particular series. I'm not interested in reading the other series right now. I'm just reading one particular series. But as I'm reading through, I can see the references to the other books in the other series and so like, oh yeah, that's right. That book comes in between this one and the next one. This one comes in here. This one comes in here. And you can actually go to the author's website, and she's onto 2 pages now. 2 pages, single line space, probably about a 12 font, and she has them color coded by series. So she has for each series is a different color, so you can actually scan through and go, okay, well, I only want to read this particular series, so you just go and pull out all the blue ones, or I pull out all the green ones, or the pink ones, or the purple ones. And she has like about 5 or 6 colors that she uses. And like I said, single spaced PDF file. It's onto 2 pages. There's like, I think we're up to like 70 or 80 books that you can just start at book 1 and work your way through the entire series and read all of her series. And even when she's got some books that are kind of in an anthology where she's got short stories in them, and she'll even put like, read this short story from this particular book. So you're not reading the whole book, you're just reading that one story from that one story in her anthology. And it's kind of interesting. So I'm like, I wonder if they have all the hard copies of these books. I have them all on ebook on Kindle, but if they have the hard copies, if you are one of these people, do you store them in reading order, like chronological reading order, or do you sort them by series? Because you got them all by one author. So where you have all that author's books, do you have them by series, or do you have them in chronological reading order? That's a good question for you. So how do you store your books on bookcases? How do I do them? Fiction is by author. And within the author, it's by series. And if there's no series, then it's by title. Or I may even do it by publication date. I change it up every now and again. If I've got nothing to do, I'll go reorganize my bookcase. Nonfiction is all by, you're looking at somebody who used to be a librarian back in the day. So during my middle school years and my high school years, I was actually a school librarian. And this was students could volunteer to work in the libraries, and you'd work in there during your lunch hour, during the lunch breaks and stuff. You would help put the plastic wrap onto the dust jackets. We actually covered the dust jackets for the books and then taped them to the books. So the book was protected in plastic. Did that. And for the nonfiction ones, we had to use the Dewey Decimal System. And we had to get the book, look it all up and everything else. And then we had a series of index cards that we had to type up to go into the card catalog. And the index cards were 3x5 cards. And for a nonfiction book, you would have the title. You'd have a card by title. You would have a card by author. You would have a card by the Dewey Decimal number. You would have a card for the topic. And this will be the broad topic, not the specific topic. So if you had biographies, were all in the 920s. 920 was your biography section. Some things just come back to you. References were all started with zeros, all your reference stuff. So if you were looking for like genealogy, they would be in the zeros. It's amazing how some things come back to you, but 920s were biographies. And then all the books around World War. So if you had, and then biographies were then broken up into different categories within that as well, whether it was autobiography versus a biography. And so you would then have, let's see, we're going to start this again. You would have by title, an index card for the title, a card catalog for the author, a card catalog for the Dewey Decimal number, a card catalog by topic, and there was another one we had. Because for nonfiction, we had like 5 cards we had to type up, and there was a specific way they had to be typed up, which so happens that when I was on one of my genealogy classes last year, and we were talking about, is it last year or the year before? We were talking about citations, and it was January last year. We were talking about citations, and I'm like looking at these citations and going, author, publishing, like I'm going through the list of the order you have that you put them in, like the author, publishing date, the name of it, and all that. Probably screwing it all up right now. I'm looking at it going, that looks really familiar, and the order of the citation was the same as how we did the author's card in the card catalog for the nonfiction stuff. For fiction, you had the genre, the author's card, and the title. That was it. And then these cards over here, and then you'd have and you go to the catalog, and they'd have title A through Z. You'd have author A through Z. You would have the Dewey Decimal number 000 to 999. And you could look it up by that way. And then you'd have the subject that was the subject cards and all of that sort of thing there too. So we had ways. And these cards came with little holes in the bottom at the middle of the index card. So if this was an index card, a 3x5 index card, I know it's a little bit in that, there'd be a hole like right here. And that was for the rod to go through. So if you happen to drop the drawer, which happened frequently, nothing would fall out because there'd be this metal rod that would go through the bottom of the drawer and through all these index cards. The only time that was the worst was when and we would actually take the drawer out of the card catalog, go into the office area of the library, remove the rod, would actually go through first, put the cards in, so you just had them sitting there on top of, sitting on top of the rod. Then you would pull the rod out, tap the cards back down, put the rod back in, so there was the least amount of time with that rod removed. So there was very little chance of that whole drawer going onto the floor and then you having to sit there and put everything back in, because those card catalog drawers could hold well over 100 cards, like 200 cards. So you didn't really want to have to go back through those. So you would put the cards in an order, pull the rod out, tap them down into place, put the rod back in. Yes. And then, so that was in middle school and high school. And then when I went into the Air Force, I was a publication specialist, and the recreation library was part of what we had to watch, which is like a public library for everybody else. And this always amazed Brad, is that he'd say, oh, I need to get a book on da 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 da. And I was like, okay, let's go to the library and find it. And he would literally he would let me go in first and then he would follow me. And we could go into a library I had never stepped foot in before. And because I learned to do this when I was a teenager, when I was a kid, and I can walk down the main aisle of the library and suddenly go off and pull his book out, because I'd already looked up online. If it was a nonfiction book, already looked online to see that library had it. This is the Dewey Decimal number for it. And so all I need to do is just remember that Dewey Decimal number, remember the title of the book, and I could basically walk him to the book within 2 minutes. It took less than 2 minutes of us being inside a library I'd never been in before, of a single story library. If the library was multiple floors, I had to find out where the nonfiction section was first. So that might take a little longer. It might take 5 minutes. But yeah, I could walk him into a library. If I had that Dewey Decimal number, I could walk him into a library, and within 2 minutes, he would have the book in his hand. And he's like, how do you do that? I said, I knew what the number was. I just had to look at the ends and read them. He said, but how could you read them so quickly? And I said, because the numbering system was, if you know where the nonfiction area starts, and you can tell that by the fact that they've got little signs that said that, like, AA to BZ or something like that is on the ends, and you know that that's the fiction section. So you're looking for the numbers. As soon as you get to see the first number, you know exactly, where it's going to be. And you're looking at and I said, you quickly take in how the number, are they going down this way and coming back up this way for the numbers, or are they just going, how are they? And I said, you can very quickly work out. And I said, it's just something that it's just a skill you pick up over the years. And he said, like, oh, okay, that's just what. You didn't have to wait around. You didn't have to muck around in the library trying to figure out where to go. You just let me go. Oh, we need this book. Okay, there you go. Yeah, same with fiction. So some skills that I learned as a kid and then spent 6 years doing while I was in the Air Force came in handy. So anyway, that's my musings for Saturday. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling day. I'm going to go find some index cards, see if I can find some index cards before we go for a walk. She's down on the floor. So the second I turn this off, she's going to be out of the curtains waiting for me to go put her harness on. Anyway, with that, we're out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, and I'll give you an update